a decision met with strong backlash.
And while I remain focused on the evolving significant threat that China poses, I have concluded that this initiative is not the right approach.
Absolutely extraordinary. How many times has Christopher Wray told us that China is the biggest threat to the United States? And what do? They remove the China Initiative.
But why is the China Initiative getting scrapped?
There appears to have been racial profiling, which basically ruined the lives of a number of Chinese people.
It's not targeted at Chinese Americans. It is targeted specifically at the Chinese Communist Party that has been destabilizing our country.
But what does the initiative really aim to counter?
China's model is to go out there and improve themselves by stealing from America, stealing trade secrets, stealing IP.
They're targeting research on everything from military equipment to wind turbines to rice and corn seeds.
And what will happen without it?
If we end the China Initiative, will we no longer go after economic espionage and IP theft by China?
Welcome to China in Focus. I'm Tiffany Meyer. In part one of this special report, we dive into the controversy surrounding the Justice Department's China Initiative project. Has it done what it was designed to and protected America from Beijing's theft? Or are the accusations against it true, that it targeted Asian Americans? To understand that, let's dial back to a warning from the head of the FBI in January. He said Beijing's threat to America's economic security and freedom is hitting a new level.
More brazen, more damaging than ever before, and it's vital that all of us focus on that threat together.
That threat is theft. Ray says Beijing is stealing American technology and know-how across many industries.
So much so that, as you heard, we're constantly opening new cases to counter their intelligence operations, about every 12 hours or so.
What exactly did Beijing steal?
They're targeting research on everything from military equipment to wind turbines to rice and corn seeds.
Speaking of corn seeds, former acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker recounts one encounter from his time as the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Iowa.
We had a case where a couple Chinese nationals, we prosecuted them for stealing seed corn technology. They went out in the field and they just took the seed and then tried to reverse engineer the genomic sequence so that they could produce it with no investment and use it in China.
But the problem goes far beyond corn seeds.
In 2017, the Chinese military conspired to hack Equifax and made off with the sensitive personal information of 150 million Americans. We're talking nearly half of the American population and most American adults.
Equifax is one of the largest consumer reporting agencies in the U.S. It's one of many American companies that have suffered from Beijing's cyber attacks.
Did any of you have health insurance through Anthem or one of its associated insurers? Well, in 2015, China's hackers stole the personal data of 80 million of that company's current and former customers.
Beijing's efforts to steal American trade secrets stretch back over a decade. In 2006, a bureau under the U.S. Commerce Department was paralyzed for a month. That's because they had to throw away all of their computers following cyber attacks from China. In 2010, Chinese military hackers stole valuable computer source code from some of America's most prominent tech companies, Google and Adobe. And in 2014, Chinese hackers stole the personnel files on over 4 million U.S. government employees. They also lifted security clearance background information on over 20 million individuals. A former National Security Agency director says a breach like that would compromise U.S. national security for an entire generation.
Here in the U.S., they unleash a massive, sophisticated hacking program that is bigger than those of every other major nation combined. operating from pretty much every major city in China with a lot of funding and sophisticated tools.
The Pentagon says even though other nations also target the U.S. through cyber attacks, what sets China apart is the scale. Beijing has dedicated major military power to global cyber attacks, with over 250,000 military soldiers involved. That's according to a report from the FBI's former Deputy Director for Counterintelligence in 2010. But while Beijing is doubling down on attempts to steal American intellectual property, the Justice Department dropped a project aiming to deter that theft, called the China Initiative.
And while I remain focused on the evolving significant threat that China poses, I have concluded that this initiative is not the right approach.
The decision came under backlash.
Absolutely extraordinary. How many times has Christopher Wray told us that China is the biggest threat to the United States? And what do? They remove the China Initiative.
DOJ should revive the initiative.
The DOJ's decision to drop the project came after a year-long round of controversy. Rights groups and universities had called on the department to end the initiative, alleging it targets Asian Americans and that it has a chilling effect on academic collaboration.
Stop the China Initiative as we know it. Catch the spy, not the Chinese American scientists.
Over 100 Stanford University professors called on the DOJ to end the project, followed by almost 200 faculty members at Yale. Even Beijing's foreign ministry spokesperson commented on it.
The so-called China Initiative is essentially a tool for anti-China forces to abuse the concept of national security to contain and suppress China.
Though others say they see it differently.
China Initiative is not targeted at Chinese Americans. It is targeted specifically at the Chinese Communist Party that has been destabilizing our country.
So what really is the China Initiative, and what did it actually do?
So the China Initiative was created in 2018 by then Attorney General Sessions to deal with the Chinese counterintelligence and economic espionage threat inside the United States.
Michael Ellis is the former general counsel of the National Security Agency. He advised the White House on some of America's most sensitive intelligence activities and worked with the DOJ on the China Initiative.
It was an umbrella term used to cover a variety of different DOJ programs that recognized that China was a significant threat to U.S. national security and attempted to use DOJ's unique authorities to combat that threat.
In 2018, the White House, the Pentagon, and the U.S. Trade Representative published reports, all with one thing in common. They highlight that Beijing's efforts to steal American know-how are posing a major threat to the U.S.
So intellectual property theft is costing us hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars.
The estimated loss is between $200 billion to $600 billion every year. But behind those numbers is Beijing's true ambition. That's all for today's China in Focus on YouTube. We are now sharing a shortened version of our program on YouTube. That's after being demonetized for a year. Full episodes can be watched on our partner platform, Bok TV. To sign up for a 14-day free trial, please click the link down below. Thanks for watching China in Focus. I'm Tiffany Meyer, and see you tomorrow.
Every once in a while, something comes along so masterful, it leaves you in awe. So inspiring, it changes your life. So beautiful, you wish it would never end. When that happens, it's something not to be missed. Shen Yun, an all-new production every year.
The performance was enchanting.
I feel better about the world. I feel uplifted.
It touches you. It really does.
The expertise of the dancers was really, really strong.
To know that it was live music was really fantastic.
We didn't want to miss this.
Make sure you see it.
Have to come. Life-changing.